Hi, my name is Richard Silver and I am a realtor in Toronto, but I've also become a COVID baker. I have a cousin in Vancouver who wrote this book. Her name is Susan Mendelson, and the book is called Mama Now Cooks Like This. So these recipes are from Mama Now Cooks Like This, and the first one I wanted to show you is a wonderful recipe that she has for a sour cream coffee cake. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get a cake pan like this for a coffee cake. You want to butter it, and then you want to flour it, and of course you want to set your oven to 350. All right, so the oven has to be set to 350 before you even start. So the first part of this recipe, and it's done in 4 different sections, but the first part is you take a cup of butter and you put it here in the mix master. And it should be softened, so what I like to do is, it still is out of the fridge, but what I try and do is I put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Okay, so let's do that and start mixing. Now slowly, as the butter is creaming, I add a cup and a half of sugar, and here I'm using a more natural sugar, a little yellow sugar. That's only personal taste. People may want to do it completely white sugar. So I add it and mix it, and as it's mixing, just make sure we're getting a good mix in here. Then I add, one by one, I add 3 eggs. Here we are. There's a second egg. We've got a first egg, second egg, and now the third egg. And so now, making sure that this is well mixed, have a look. There we go. We go on to the next part. And the next part is quite interesting because we take a cup and a half of sour cream. And to the sour cream, we add 1 teaspoon of baking soda and another teaspoon, although I do like my vanilla, of vanilla. And then I mix it. Now, what's interesting is you'll start seeing this activate itself. So yes, you think you have a cup and a half of sour cream, but as you can see, it's starting to rise quite a bit. It's activating. I guess the baking soda and the vanilla are starting it to move. Okay, so that's the next section. So section 3. So I've taken 3 cups of flour, and I just use the white flour, and a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of baking powder, and a small little pinch of salt. Okay, and I mix that up, and that is stage 3. The last stage, and we will be fulfilling it later, is we take 1 cup of brown sugar. I like Demerara brown sugar, and we mix it with either pecans or walnuts. I'm a pecan fan. And we mix it also with cinnamon and butter. So this is going to be the topping and the middle for the cake. So here we are mixing the topping and the sugar, and you have to make sure it's well mixed. You're not going to put it in for a couple of minutes. And as you can see, the sour cream is still, I guess, chatting with the baking powder or baking soda that's in there with it, and it's expanding and expanding and expanding. So I guess that's what's going to make the cake nice and light. All right, so I'm mixing this, the brown sugar, cinnamon, pecans, and butter. And God knows, never have enough butter. There's always some left at the bottom you got to add. So here we are. We have the 4 pieces and we're ready to pull them all together. So The first thing we do is we start with the sugar mixture, and we add about a third of the flour, baking powder, and salt mixture, and we give it a good mix. The next step is we add about half of the sour cream. Look at it come out there, and it just smells so good. It's amazing. And we give that a good mix. So we add first the flour, and then we do sour cream, and then we do another third of the flour, and keep some from finishing. And each time we stop and we mix, and we give it a good mix. So again, you start with the flour, then the sour cream, then the flour, then the sour cream, then the flour at the end. And we mix it all. Make sure it's really well mixed. So make sure it's well mixed, because we're about to get into the fun part of this. Make sure that you get everything off the Cuisinart. I'm sorry, I'm not a very tidy baker. I mess everything up. So let's get this off the Cuisinart. And as you can see, we have a wonderful mixture there for the cake. So here we go with the last half, okay? We put all of this wonderful cake dough in here. Yum. This is going to be great. If I say so myself. Seriously, this is a fairly easy recipe. Those of you who are COVID bakers, you know, I'll tell you a little story. My mom was a great baker, and she baked things that she loved. She baked all sorts of things like Mendelbroid, or we used to call it in the West, we used to call it Commischbroid. So she was a great baker, something I've never done until now. She used to bake all the time, and I watched her a tiny bit, but I can't say that I was very good at it or watching it, although I'm a very good eater when it comes to that. So I love my pastry, I love my cooking, I love baking, and guess what? I'm type 2 diabetic. So what I do is I make all this stuff and then I give it away. So let me share more. And here we're going to mix, and this is the topping. So we've put the whole of the cake in here. We're going for the topping now. And we just want to make sure it's well spread throughout the cake, and it will move during the cooking. So this is the last part. You just want to make sure that all the topping is spread out nicely, and you put it in the oven at 350 for 55 to 60 minutes usually. And let's see what happens when we bring it out. 55 to 60 minutes. So the cake is finished, and I'm going to take it out of the oven, but I have to tell you, first and foremost, there's the most amazing smell in the apartment. I don't know, it's the cinnamon, the sugar, it all mixes together. Anyways, here's the finished product. Oh my God, it smells so good. I could just eat it now, but I'm gonna let it cool off, and then we're gonna enjoy it. So thank you very much for joining me, and look forward to the next one. I'm gonna make some, maybe we're gonna make some chocolate, things with chocolate, and a friend of mine who's Brazilian is gonna make some pão de queijo, which is great for people who have problems with wheat All right, see you soon.